Before we begin, do you consent to being filmed and do you agree to the principles outlined in the release informed consent and copyright forms?
Yes, I agree and I consent with all of the forms.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Julia Wallace. Please tell me your name, your birth date, our relationship, and where we are.
Okay, my name is Carmela Myrie. My birthday is February 13th, 1959. Julia is a close friend of mine, and we are at the Wallace residence.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a merchandiser, which means that I go to different accounts and represent different products, and I've been working in that field in different capacities for over 30 years.
What are you proudest of in your life?
Being able to keep my integrity over the span of my work career.
Can you define social justice?
Social justice is about giving everybody an equal playing field as opposed to the money they can make and the job that they can be in and where they can live and insurance, just so that everybody has the same starting place.
What knowledge do you have about the wage gap?
The wage gap. I have really, from what I've read, because I can't say that I've personally experienced a wage gap. There are years that I took off to raise my family, so then my experience in the field was halted because of my maternity leave.
How is the wage gap related to social justice?
Well, some people will say because of your skin color or your age or whether you're a male or a female that you don't have the same starting place as maybe a white man as opposed to a black man or a black woman to a white man. So that would be what social justice would look like in that in the employment field.
Have you or someone you have known ever been treated disproportionately in the workplace? If so, please tell me about it.
I myself have not. I've had certain friends that because they were female were able to get a promotion and move along where maybe their counterpart male did not in that respect because it was such a male-dominated field.
How do you feel about the motherhood penalty?
Well, the motherhood penalty. So if I am working in a field for 5 years and there's a man that's working in the field for 5 years, but then I take off 3 years to start a family and whatever, and then I come back in to the workforce, then after the 8 years, the man has 8 years experience and I only have 5 years experience. So why should I be able to have the same rate of pay as the man who has 8 years? Now, today, women have choices. Not every woman wants to stay home and raise her family or, do that. I have friends who had the baby. They had the better paying job of their husband, and they went back to work after their maternity leave without losing anything in the gap. I think today we can make those choices. But if I choose to stay home, that's a choice I make. So a man shouldn't be penalized because I chose to stay home.
What should determine one's starting pay at a job?
I think that experience should determine the job, whatever qualifications are for the job. If I bring 4 years experience, but the man only brings 2 years experience, I should be getting paid a better wage. But if we're both bringing the same qualifications, no experience or whatever, then we should both be starting at the same place. But if someone has a college degree and I don't have a college degree and the job requires some college, and the college graduate should make more money than I would make.
Who do you believe is affected by the wage gap?
I think probably the people that feel the most would be maybe the African American teenager, as opposed to maybe the white teenager starting out, or a black woman as opposed to a white man. That I would think that the African Americans probably have the biggest wage gap.
Have you or someone you have ever known experienced a disparity in a paycheck, whether more or less than of another employee in the same position? Who is it of another race, class, or gender? If so, please tell me about it and your opinion on the situation.
No, I have not. When I lived in New York, I had union jobs and I had friends who were in other unions. So everybody started at the same. That was the law. We all started at the same. After 6 months, we got raises. And then at that point, it could differ depending on how well you did in your job. So there was always a union checkpoint so to make sure that everybody made the same money for what they were doing. So I can't speak to an actual disparity.
Finally, what do you think should be done about the wage gap?
I think companies need to be honest and not look at maybe how a person looks and looks more at what they bring to the table as far as how they can make the company better, whether it be black, white, Asian, it doesn't really matter, woman, man, we should all be able to start at the same level field.
Do you have any final thoughts?
No, that's about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.